Hi, my name is Airyus, and I play games. Shout out of the week for this video goes out to Ike in Blades. Thank you for your support, my friend. Boom. One more subscriber. So, lately, I've been thinking about getting back into playing Elder Scrolls Online, but I didn't want to just play it like I've played it before. I wanted something alternative. Not too long ago, I was watching one of those wilderness survival videos on YouTube. You know, how to create your own tools, weapons, shelter, with nothing but the land around you. Then, I started thinking about ESO and how that minimalist survival concept can be applied, and that's how I came up with
The Challenge of the Non-Conforming Nomad.
What is this challenge, and why am I doing it? Well, basically, I will be leveling up my character to the minimum level to enter PvP, which is level 10. I will also have unlocked 2 weapon skill lines. Then, I will ensure that I have enough skill points to select all skills available to me at that level. These will be unlocked by either grinding enough sky shards, doing the main quest, or completing normal dungeons and public dungeons. The PvP map that I'll be joining will be the No Champion Point Lobby campaign, so champion point setup will not be required. As far as gear, consumables, etc., I will be limited to what I find from mob drops, quest rewards, rewards of the worthy, and anything I could purchase or make in Cyrodiil. Since there's not a lobby map for Imperial City, we'll save that zone for when we reach level 50. This means, aside from using what I can find, as long as I earn gold and AP, I can use that currency to purchase supplies while in Cyrodiil. Since I will not be allowed to receive any extra currency, gear, or supplies from external sources, my gear choices will be quite limited. And I want to keep it that way. That's why, even if I do acquire enough gold, I will not be allowed to use any guild traders for buying or selling. As a non-conforming nomad, I believe this set of criteria would be the most appropriate for the challenge. So what about my character? I'll be building a new character. What kind of class will I be making for this nomad challenge? You know, I really don't know for sure, but I do know that I don't want to be a DK or a warden. Those were my 2 main classes from when I last played ESO, and for this challenge I want to learn a whole new class to see if it enhances my learning experience. After looking at the various options, I wondered what the other classes had to offer. So I turned to my friend Nate, who plays as Crown in ESO. He plays other characters, but he's mainly played a Templar since launch, and I was curious about why he's been drawn to playing that class. Here's what he had to say. But first, a word from our sponsor. Hi, I'm Airyus. Obviously, I'm also the sponsor. And here's your word. Pulchritude, a noun. Rhymes with dude, and it means beauty. Here's a usage example. I would like to highlight the pulchritude of your subscriptions by letting you know that each new subscription from you means that I get to keep making more videos for you. Now that's a beautiful thing. As one of the older players who still play a Templar, why do you still play a Templar? Is there a particular reason why Templar could be better?
For me, from my perspective as a Templar who tends to focus on healing and support, that's ensuring that I'm not going to get blown the up before I can do what I need to do to help my team. And I don't build for 1v1s. I just don't. It's not the best way to build for the type of play that I prefer. Airyus, there's a video that I sent you a while back when I was duoing with Pain in the Axe. Good friend of mine. He's a fantastic streamer, very, very entertaining individual, especially when intoxicated. And in that video, you'll see me set up as a pocket healer.
Okay.
And a pocket healer is different from a solo healer, is different from a group healer again. And what my role in that is as a pocket healer is to make sure that he stays alive so that he could kill people. Do I do a little bit of damage? I'm focused on him. I don't care about anyone else. I need to stay alive to make sure that he stays alive to kill people.
Nice.
Now, you could be a pocket healer that also does damage, or a hybrid type build that also throws heals, but I personally find from my own play style that I enjoy the most, I like to ensure that people survive. And if I throw some damage, maybe I'll spot a Nova, which you'll see in that video as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Right.
throw a meteor if it's necessary. I'll keep javelins slotted. If I'm solo or pocket healing, I always have javelins slotted. Maybe I'll throw a Vampire's Bane or something from Dawn's Wrath to help me build ult faster. But my goal is to keep that person alive. So
Nice.
there's another way of playing, and for all of your listeners and friends who want to go out there solo, well, the group with the best cross healing or the most capable pocket healers are going to win, because the difference in capability for damage dealers, okay, maybe someone's going to output 20, 30, even 40% more damage than the next person. And if it's just them fighting each other, the one who outputs the most damage in the shortest amount of time with the least compensation of shields and healing wins. If you have a pocket healer in, we could 2v1 anyone. If I'm pocket healing you, you're not going to die. End of story.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if they're not focused on you and they don't even realize you're healing the other guy,
Yeah, and if we 2v2 and there's 2 damage dealers versus you and a pocket healer, chances are we're going to end up winning, because the pocket healer can still throw out a dot, a Vampire's Bane can still CC with a javelin, we'll drop a Nova for you to pop, and the rest of the time, you've got a couple of hots out, you're not dying. Now, granted, they may be able to open up with enough burst, and that's their only way of killing you. But if they're going for a long play or a dot build or some such, you're not dying.
No way. But as a solo healer, if you're, in that same situation, you see something coming, you probably don't want to stand next to the other healers if you expect to be helpful, is kind of the bottom line, right?
Well, you don't want to stand next to anyone if you want to be helpful. And there's another video where you can see, it's the one where I titled Resplar healing people during Mid-Year Mayhem.
That was a good one.
If you look at my positioning in that, I didn't stack on people unless I needed to be in a position to get a res off.
And real quick, tell us why it's bad to stack on people.
Vicious Death.
Yes.
A Vicious Death proc will hit you for 10k easily. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. But a good number is about 10k. So if you are in range of people, you're going to get hit by a proxy. A proxy is anywhere from like 5k to 15k, depending on how many people are there. It'll scale up with more people. If we say a proxy can hit you for 10k, an ult such as a tether can hit you for 10k, and then a sap can hit you for 5, 6, maybe 8k depending on the build. Vicious Death is 10k as soon as some squishy person ends up getting hit. And there you go, you're dead. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter if you're standing there holding block. Doesn't matter if you're in full mitigation CP and build. Couple of Vicious Deaths and you're dead. And Vicious Death can proc off of Siege.
You mentioned roles and responsibilities, and then we talked about a pocket healer. I've heard terms thrown around like pocket plar and Resplar and such. Can you kind of sum up those different aspects of the Templar?
Sure. So Resplar is, as you watched in that video, when you're going to wear Kagranak's Hope, which gives you a faster res speed, and you're going to have the red CP that gives you additional res speed. And you can see how fast the resurrections are. It's just pumping them out one after the other. And if you're alone as a Templar and you're trying to figure out what can help your faction to accomplish a goal best, being capable of popping those reses really quickly is definitely a possibility. It's not necessarily the only one, the right one, or the best one, but it will be a very good one. I tend to prefer using a damage mitigation set with Kagranax when I'm resplaring, because I will need to stand in oil. You saw in the video I did that a few times.
Yep.
Standing in siege. So there you have a couple of great options. Today, Pariah is good, Buffer of the Swift is good, and Spectre's Eye is good. And there are probably a few others, but those are the 3 that I tend to prefer.
Thank you, Nate. That was some extremely helpful information there, both for myself as well as anyone else thinking about doing this challenge with me. So I'm not sure if I'm entirely convinced if I'll be going Templar for this challenge. The other option I really wanted to explore was Necromancer, so I'll be doing more research between now and the next video. Stay tuned to find out how day 1 of the challenge goes and what class I'll be playing. Thanks for watching. My name is Airyus, and I play games. Cheers!